Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD, and today we'll be reviewing and analyzing chapter 1131 of One Piece. If this is your first time on my channel, or you've been here before but haven't done so already, would greatly appreciate it if you could do your boy a solid. Please like, share, subscribe. Would mean the absolute world to me. Before we begin, y'all digging the hat? Are y'all digging the hat? Y'all fucking with the hat? I'm fucking with the hat. Look at this fucking fly shit, bro. It's even got the fucking cuts from Buggy. I love this thing. I've always wanted a straw hat, but not like the Luffy straw hat, because like it didn't really match my like aesthetic and stuff like that. So I kind of like this for that like casual cosplay look. I got like a cool fit that I plan on going to like Magfest and like raves with. So like I can't wait to put that together. And it goes so nice, so nice with the jacket. So I've been really happy. I've been wearing this thing everywhere. So yeah. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into this review. All right, chapter 1131 of One Piece, Loki of the Realm of the Dead. And we have a cover story with Yamato, Komichio, who's that? Is her name Speed? And Tama. And they're going after the Katana Thief, and we have no clue who it is. Like I said before, I don't really have any speculations. I forget, there was one person I said, I forget who I said, and then I was like, what's the name of that? Onimaru, the little like wolf thing that was like collecting the sword. But like, why would he still be doing that? So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out, and I'm excited for it. Anyway, getting into the chapter, Luffy is super stoked, super hyped that he is an Elbaf. He's super excited to find out about it. And he's just talking and talking and talking, and Loki cannot get a word in. Eventually, Loki gets really mad and like screams at him to listen to him, right? And that scream kind of gets all the like causes reverberations, gets everyone like kind of like scared and nervous, right? Except for Luffy, of course, right? And so he introduces himself, says he's the sun god, he's going to do this, that, and the other, and starts to give, Luffy some like, some lore dropping and stuff like that, right? So we learn from Loki that he has been captured, tied up for about 6 years now. We also, with the whole Warland thing, it relates back to the fact that, and a bunch of people have said this in videos, that this is probably where the Void Century War took place, or one of the first wars ever took place back in the day. And I believe Mr. Moore's made a video, and I'm really salty about it because he got in on the ground floor. But after this chapter, I think a lot more people would have seen this coming. It really does seem as though there was a war here, and it was probably both for not only, well, you're going to find out later in this chapter, Treasure Tree Adam, but also just probably because it was safe. It's one of the biggest lands, one of the safest lands, and unlike not Ennis Lobby, Water 7, there weren't really any islands and things in place to kind of negate the flooding of the world, but you have this giant land with multiple floors, so that when one floor gets flooded, you could probably move to the top, right? And so he tells Luffy that everything on this bottom floor, this is the underworld, this is hell. Obviously, it's hyperbolic language, but I think we're going to kind of return back to this, because there's been this theme of not only the sun god, but this theme of the underworld. And there's something with Loki's character that I'm going to also get into in this review. And so he talks about that, and basically he's like, hey, get me out these chains. If you get me out these chains, I'll work for you. They're sea stone chains, okay? And so he's like, the key is here, yada yada, blah blah blah. Now my thing is like, one thing with like, I feel like Luffy's at a point where he can break sea stone chains, right? So like, does he actually have to get the key? Part of a good, like, something I was thinking was it would be kind of good for him to like not break the sea stone chains physically, and like go and get the key so that he can explore more, get some more lore, like go on a quest and get more like lore topics, and like get into more like circumstances and situations. But there's the part of me that's like, I really hate when strong people don't just break sea stone cuffs. Like, it's one thing if they're on you, I can understand it drains your energy, blah, blah, blah. Even though I swear to God, we saw, was it Riley or someone break his sea stone cuffs? So that's a little annoying. But like, Luffy's on the outside. I feel like he could easily just do a Gear 4, maybe even a base level, just bow and break the Sea Stone. But I digress. We will find out. So anyway, Loki's like, let's make a deal. If you get me out of here, I'll destroy any pirate you want at all. I promise. And he's like, so what do you say, Loppy? And I fucking died laughing. And it brings me to something I wanted to discuss with his character. Last chapter review, I talked about how there's a lot of parallels with Zoro. And now this chapter, I feel like we're still getting more parallels with Zoro, because Zoro did also offer, I believe, to kill someone or capture I believe he offered his services to Luffy to like kill someone or do something, and now we're seeing something similar with Loki, also tied up. So I'm really wondering if we're gonna get the same kind of thing where what he got tied up for, was in the name of good. And so, but on top of that, we're getting a lot of parallels with Luffy too, both with like how he's getting his name wrong, and how like he just kind of wants to do his own thing, right? And also how he's loved by animals, because as we see later on, he is approached by a bunch of giant, vicious beasts, and then we see some kind of like people on the side, right? Some lowly humans. And so that brings me back to the point where if Luffy is the sun god, right? There's been a lot of imagery about King of Hell, King of the Underworld coming from Zoro, and it seems like this guy is trying to double dip. But like the more we get from Loki, the more I really love this character. The more I want to see more of this character. The more I want this character on our crew. I know this is not important. I know this is not the point of One Piece. But for a really long time, I've just really wanted the Straw Hats to be like a legit crew. And when I say a legit crew, they are a legit crew. Like, come on, don't get me wrong. But I mean like one that strikes. I just want them to have like hard hitters. And for the longest time, I kind of thought to myself, okay, it's probably not going to happen. But then Dressrosa happened, and we got the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. And I was like, okay, this is phenomenal. So they're not going to join the main crew, the Straw Hat proper, but they will be affiliated and more or less Straw Hat pirates, just like affiliated, if you will. And so, like, that's still cool and dandy with me. And if Loki, if we get out of here and Loki becomes the either King of Elbaf, that'll just be another kingdom that the Straw Hat Pirates have on lock to help them and aid them, because there, besides like the Grand Fleet, there are tons of kingdoms that owe them so much. You got Drum Island, you got Fishman Island, you got Dressrosa, and you got like there's so many kingdoms that Alabasta. There's so many kingdoms that owe Straw Hats a debt, so you have that, and on top of that, you have the Straw. So that would be cool, but man, oh man, would it be awesome if they traveled with a giant, man. Like I just really like I think it would be cool and add to the eclectic nature of the Straw Hats, and also just parallel like some of the other pirate crews we see with these really dope, unique like races on their pirate crew. And just I want it to be kind of like a Rock situation where like he has heavy hitters, but once again, not the point of One Piece, not the point of the Straw Hat crew, but it would be awesome. Now there's a theory going around that I detest, I abhor, but it makes so much fucking sense, and that is Loki is going to die by the end of this, not by the hands of like Luffy or the other Straw Hats. It seems more like it's gonna be a thing of Blackbeard is maybe gonna show up, kill Loki, and take the third and final Devil Fruit for himself. There's been a theory going on for a really long time that he is trying to get all the Devil Fruits. And one theory that I personally liked was it was going to be not the best of it, because best is subjective relatively, but there was going to be a very powerful Devil Fruit of every type. With Logias, he has the Darkness Fruit. With the Paramecia, he has the Gura Gura. And then but he doesn't have a Zoan fruit. So I'm wondering if whatever fruit Loki has is a Zoan fruit. Before I said it could be the Cerberus fruit. That would be dope. But actually, no, sorry, that is not what I said. Well, I said that about Blackbeard, or that he might have already have the Cerberus fruit, and maybe that's what allows him to have other devil fruits. But I was saying for for Loki, it might be Fenrir. I think it would be super super cool if it was Fenrir. If it's not Fenrir, the only other one I think it could be is like Suitor or whatever. If you guys ever watch like Thor, like the MCU Thor, that giant fire creature thing, could be that. Could also give credence to the whole sun god thing, right? And so yeah, I find that to be really depressing if that happens, but story wise, I would totally understand it. Anyway, these people come out. We also find out that the tree that he is tied to is Treasure Tree Adam. So that was really cool. So we already knew that the tree, or we assumed at least that the tree came from Elbaf. I feel like we already got that confirmed, but if we didn't, nice to get that further confirmation. And so when these humans I was speaking about earlier show up, they basically say they apologize for passing out earlier when Shanks was here. You know, Luffy instantly hears Shanks, is like, what? Shanks is here? Is he still here? Freaking out, fanboying, wants to see his homie, wants to see his idol. And then Loki uses this as an opportunity to be like, oh, so you fuck with Shanks, huh? You like Shanks? Well, you know, I know a little bit about Shanks. Now, I think maybe he was trying to downplay him because if this guy knows Shanks, he knows about his prestige and legacy, right? And so if I downplay it, if I call Shanks like a coward and weak, it's going to elevate my strength. It's going to make me seem like even more, supreme and braggadocious and stuff like that. And so he makes the mistake of calling Shanks a coward in front of Luffy, and Luffy immediately Gear 4 hits the... And by the way, before I even get to that, this is after all those... You remember those giant animals I was talking about? This is right after they all show up looking menacing and stuff, and Loki's like, yeah, I've known them from childhood, I've tamed them, you don't want to turn against me, they're obedient to me. And you just see Luffy playing with all the animals like usual. Animals love Luffy, and if they don't, he intimidates them until they do. And so like they're already surprised by that, right? But once he insults Shanks, immediately teleports, not literally, but like, full speed, blitzes at Loki and punches to the side. I think Loki does dodge a little bit, but like we see, like I'm assuming, just chunks of wood flying off. So yeah, like even though Treasure Tree Adam is very strong, at the end of the day, it does have a threshold. It's not like adamantium; like it can still be damaged. And this is someone we saw training hitting like steel, so like makes absolute sense why that would happen. Now, something that people are talking about that I'm really confused about is, like, I think even Tekking said it, and I think he said that like Yggdrasil is Treasure Tree Adam, and that's not what I thought was happening. That's not what I got. I didn't think Loki was like tied to the entire like giant tree, like the tree that makes up Elbaf. I didn't think that's what he was tied to. It would make sense in terms of like strength and durability, like why they trust it to hold him. But like, maybe I gotta see the scale. But like, how do you get like to get that much chain and then like wrap it around him? It just seems a lot. So I didn't get that impression. I would like that clarified, or like maybe I tried to reread it, but like I was like, I need something more. I need a more perspective shot because I was super confused. I thought he was just tied to like not a random tree because they're all other like small pine trees, but I thought it was like a different, not the main giant tree that makes up Elbaf. I didn't think it was that one. So if that's the case, that's really interesting. Completely went over my head, but yeah, there's that. I will say though, a little bit disappointed that Luffy freaked out so quickly about the Shanks insult. I just kind of feel like he didn't learn his lesson from Shanks in like chapter 1, where Shanks was like, it doesn't matter what people say about your friends or do whatever, like just like let it, like words are meaningless, like just like let it go. In like, even though I guess that was more so about yourself, but like, and Shanks is his friend, so like when you're defending your friend, it's a little bit different. But still, I think the overall point Shanks was trying to make are some fights and battles aren't worth fighting. So whatever, or maybe like Luffy did it knowing like it's not gonna be serious. This guy's chained up. I'm not really good, but I wanna let him know to put fucking respect on Shanks' name. I want him to put some fucking respect on Shanks' name. Don't talk shit. And I think it's kind of funny because I think there's a lot of YouTubers in the community that like to call Shanks a rat and stuff. And so part of me would like to headcanon that this is like Oda's way of saying, fuck you. Fuck you, don't talk shit about Shanks. Luffy would be cool with that. And if you're cool with Luffy, you better stop that shit. So, Loki gets the message. He gets the message. He's not scared of Luffy though. He's not scared of Luffy, or at least that's not the impression I get. The impression I get is like, okay, I am in a very vulnerable position right now. And this dude does have the AP to like hurt me. So let me play nice for now, but as soon as I get out these motherfucking chains, he's done. So that was really funny to me. But yeah, I just think he needs to learn less because like from chapter 1, from Marineford when Ace turned around because of the Yo Daddy joke. Like I think it's a lesson that Luffy should have learned, needs to learn. And the only way I kind of like his reaction here is if then later on in the series he gets like messed up or attacked or something, trapped because of him once again reacting to something like this. I thought he moved past this honestly back when him and Zoro just allowed people to laugh at them at Jaya, but once again that was laughter at them, not at the expense of their friends. So I think maybe that's just one of the like one of the nuances, caveats if you will, of this whole situation. Anyway, I think at this point it's very clear Loki is not evil. I do think he's a little bit like, edgier than like Luffy and willing to do a lot more stuff. But I don't think he's like this really big bad. There's clearly more to the story. We're going to find out. And the main thing that like really lends me to that is one, he's friends with animals. And we've kind of seen in the past and throughout all of One Piece that if you're friendly with animals and stuff like that and not just like subjugating them, but like they seem to genuinely like you, if it's because you're a good person. They respond to that, and you have like Conqueror's Haki sometimes. And the other thing is these humans. Why are these humans serving him? Why are they helping him out? They're probably the ones continuing to feed him. Because how is he getting food during this time? And why would they do that? We see that Elbaf is kind of isolationist, similar to Wano. So maybe they owe him for saving them. Maybe a bunch of humans were seeking solace and refuge, and the giants weren't about it, and Loki was like, let them, and he got into a fight with Elbaf over that. Maybe, they're stuck here. Maybe they escaped from the D&D prison that the rest of the humans were in, but like they were going to be eaten by these animals, and because they are obedient to Loki was like, yo, you don't have don't eat them, but in exchange you guys are going to serve and worship me, and you guys are going to like help try to like break me out of here, get the key or something like that. And there's maybe just some kind of mutual thing going on, but they have a lot of respect for Loki, and I want to hear the background and story behind that. Two or three of them are sword wielders, so I'm wondering if that has any relevance or significance. They don't seem to be particularly strong, but at the same time, passing out from Shanks's Conqueror's Haki, like that's understandable for anyone. Like we've been told that his Conqueror's Haki is on a completely different level, so like it's just not a surprise, you know what I mean? Anyway, we get back to the rest of the Straw Hats, and they are about to finish crossing the bridge, but they see on the other end Roto sprinting at them, being chased by Gerd and I forget the other dude's name, the cook or whatever. And so the cook has the Sunny, and I love the part where there are so many funny parts. First, I loved like when he called when Loki called Luffy's name wrong, and I was like, how does it fucking feel, Luffy? How does it fucking feel? Yeah, he got your name right. He was like, it's Luffy. I'm like, yeah. Do you see what the fuck everyone else you've put through? You see what you've put everyone else through? So that was funny. And then in this moment, like when Zoro sees that they have the Sunny, he's just like, okay, guess I gotta cut him. And I was like, that's my boy, bro. But everyone else is like, no. We shouldn't do it. Also, they might be friends with the Masters. And at first I was confused, but I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. That's what Usopp calls Dorian Broggy and stuff like that. And so they're like, Sanji's just like, let's just get out of here. Let's run, find the closest village, and then just like figure it out from there, right? And so that's what they end up doing. I just assume they're chasing Roto to ask him like what he knows and if he found the Straw Hats. And like I just love well, normally I hate this, but in this moment I kind of love how like this constantly happens to the Straw Hats where they're running away from people that like actually want to do them like not opposite of harm, like do them well, trying to help them out, and like because of like misunderstandings and stuff like that, they're making their lives a little harder. But at the same time, if they were to go with these people, it's kind of like a D&D campaign or a video game. Like if you were to go this route, you're gonna miss all these like really cool side quests where you can get like really cool like items and buffs and lore. And so like this is probably the best for right now. So I really enjoy that. And the last part of this chapter that honestly fucking tore at my heartstrings is Brooke cuts. They go back to the Dorian Bragi ship, and Brooke has just finished cutting Robin's hair, and she has her signature bangs back from the pre-time skip. And honestly, at first it was kind of jarring because I got used to the hair pullback, and I did kind of like it, but it did kind of also make her a little bit too Nami-ish. But like, bruh, I don't know. I'll get used to it again. I liked it. I liked it a lot, and it just like I knew I didn't even. I was kind of sad. I was hoping that Oda was going to expand on it. I was hoping he was going to leave it a thing for like fans to understand why she did that. But she later on explains like this is the haircut she had when she met Saul, and then they talk about like, oh yeah, that's the haircut you had when we met you too. Blah blah blah. But I knew immediately why she got that haircut. I thought it was the cutest thing. I thought it was the sweetest thing, and I'm excited. But there were two things that honestly worried me slash pissed me off. So the first thing is I hate this new thing Oda is doing where he's doing these like recap bubbles. No, fuck this. This is a manga. Fuck the recaps. Fuck the new people. If they want to like find out what's going on and who these characters are, they can read the fucking series. I have never been okay. I have never been okay with this whole idea of you can start at either the post time skip or you can start at Wano. Like no, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. It's disrespectful to the story. It's disrespectful to Oda. And like you don't get all the details. And One Piece is one of those things where like the world building, the interactions, the relationships that have been slowly and painfully developed, like all culminate in like this great overarching story. And like no, fucking, there's no shortcuts here. There's no cutting corner. Like stop. And I don't think we should be what's the word I'm looking for? Encouraging that, and two, I just don't think we should be wasting panels and story space and what chapter space and what have you on these panels. Like I know, like the easy argument is then like maybe it would just be shorter. Then let it just be shorter. Because every time I see shit like that, it annoys me. It makes me feel like I would rather have something else here. And also, I just don't like the fact that like this is what we're doing. Instead, like let people do their like part of the fun of being a One Piece fan is doing your research, going back and remembering things that you don't remember. Like for example, Loki being tied up for 6 years. I didn't think about this, but other people that delve deeper realize that that's around the same time that Shanks became a Yonko. So are the two things correlated? Did Shanks help put down Loki, and that's why the Giants were eventually inevitably able to what's it called, capture Loki? Is that why they have such reverence for Loki? How did the government find that out to make him a Yonko kind of thing? Maybe the world government also showed up and were either trying to help Loki, or maybe they themselves were the ones trying to kill Loki's father and steal the devil fruit, but Loki like stopped them, got it, but like they weren't trying to listen. So there's a lot going on there. Also, speaking of Loki, there was something I forgot to mention. He has a special bounty of 2.6 billion berry. Now I'm thinking obviously the distinction, the differentiation of a special bounty means that it's not issued by the Marines. It might be like a Dressrosa kind of thing. It might be like the Crossgo kind of thing where someone else issues it, and I'm thinking that maybe it's just a bounty issued by the Elbathians themselves. Even though that's kind of interesting, it seems like they're warriors. Would they really be doing bounties like that, or just going after people based because of honor? So I'm very, very curious where this special bounty has come from. But yeah, really excited for the reunion with Robin and Saul. And part of my worry right now is because I know me and every fan ever wants this reunion, which means it is the perfect time to fuck with us and do something to fuck it up. Now, we see at the end of the chapter that Saul is having a life alert moment. He's fallen, he can't get up. And so I don't think that's the case, but like I would be really mad if like something showed up on Elbaf, something came to Elbaf and kind of fucked up this reunion. Because like it would be one thing if Robin didn't know Saul was here, and like that would be like shooting no expectations, no nothing, and so like whether she sees him or not wouldn't be a big deal. But like she knows Saul is here, she is preparing to meet Saul, setting up. We're on this cloud, high hopes and stuff like that, and this is exactly where Oda likes to stick the knife and twist. And so like I'm praying to God he lets them meet. Like even if like my compromise is they get a little bit of time together. They get some closure. She gets to thank him for what he did. He gets to impart and instill some stuff in her and whatnot, and then like dies. I want, as long as they get that, that's fine. But like if it's just some real cruel shit where like she doesn't even get to meet him before he dies, or like meets him as he dies, oh my God, my heart couldn't take it. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into Otaku Talk. This is me, your boy, your host, OD. Please take care. Have a great fucking weekend. Thanksgiving's coming up. Have a great Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, whatever you do. And, be easy. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.